when the European leaders and President Zelensky were at the White House the following Monday, has done the opposite of following through on what he indicated he wanted to do. As a matter of fact, he has, in a despicable manner, increased the bombing campaign. So I think with President Trump, all options are on the table, and I think we'll be examining those very closely this week.
This is a part of his plan to do something really nefarious, which is to interfere with elections in 2026. He wants to have troops on the ground to stop people from voting, to intimidate people from going to the voting booth. So take note. That is what this is all about.
What do you think the status of crime is at this point in Chicago? And what could the introduction of some federal presence do?
Look, trends are positive. Crime trends are going down. It's good news.
Everything that I've seen, the plans are going to be done in a tasteful and historical kind of a way. I mean, they're not putting in a Dave and Buster's kind of a situation here. So I think upgrading some of these facilities seems pretty normal overall. I don't have a strong opinion on it, but it's not a point where I'm going to freak out or make some kind of weird demandings or have a hearing on it.
If he self-funds it and gets some donations from the private sector, would you be okay with that?
I think if it saves the American taxpayers much more too, I think that's fine. But regardless, it's an investment on the White House, and that's probably won't even be close to finished by the time he even leaves the office.
People started doxing these ICE agents, posting their personal information, posting where their families are, posting where their kids' schools are, putting them and their families in jeopardy. And he doesn't want them to have to do it.
That is a risk that every law enforcement officer in this country faces. Everyone.
You think you think they should face that risk?
Listen, I'm not saying that is right. I'm not saying that is good. It's terrible. No one should be doxxed. No one's families should be brought into their work. But what I am saying is that there are beat officers in this country, in every city in America, who are doing their jobs in extremely dangerous situations. That's a risk that you take when you take on this responsibility of having law enforcement power in this country, because the accountability is between you and the people.
Yeah, well, I don't agree that law enforcement officers in any agency should have to face the risk of their family being assaulted or themselves.
I don't agree with that either, but I do think that the accountability piece of it cannot be ignored.
Do you think
that there should not be
they're always the persecutor and then the victim.
Law enforcement, regardless of what agency they represent.
Of course there should be accountability, and I agree with you about the relationship between policing agencies and the community. Unfortunately, in this case, certain people in our community have decided to take matters in their own hands. I heard a clip today of a congressman named John Larson from Minnesota screaming into a microphone, "This is Nazi Germany. They're the Gestapo." What do you think that does to radicalize people? That is irresponsible, and it's not the fault of an ICE agent for that kind of rhetoric to be in our system.